Future Echoes then.
So Future Echo. So it went out.
Yeah, Future Echoes was actually the 5th show we ever wrote, and the 4th show we recorded, because we dropped one of them. And it was sort of really the first one that was a science fiction show, as I remember.
Yes, it was, because we've been told not to have any science fiction in this science fiction series because
They turned people off.
it did turn people off, and as we've already discussed, no one likes science fiction, so it would have been idiotic to write science fiction. And after a few shows, we thought we might be able to sneak some in, didn't we?
Yeah.
So, and I remember actually, we suddenly thought, this is, this
maybe
is interesting.
something new here,
Yes, the science fiction thing could work.
So,
Yeah.
And split screens. It was the first sort of split screen effecty kind of show we ever did.
It was. It was the complex one. And at that stage, again, split screens was about it, really.
Yeah,
You
well,
could have a split screen or a split screen.
but it wasn't like everybody did split screens every other day of the week. It was a fairly rare thing on TV at the time. I remember when we went over to do the American version, and there was a split screen in that. And they were absolutely, useless at locking off the camera and completely paranoid about going over the split. There were people like one end of the room and a huge wide shot with everything in between them.
That's right.
And they're all terrified of encroaching on the split. And I remember that there's a terrific shot in it, the double Lister scene where Rimmer walks through and has the conversation, and then he walks in again just as he's walking out.
Yeah.
And that's when I thought, oh, well, maybe it wasn't such a bad idea after all.
Right.
So that was his full show.
Luckily, I talked to somebody else about how to do that who was better.
So, the Radio Times, Show 2, Red Dwarf, comedy series set in space. This is some reading from the Radio Times. There's a scrapbook here. Future Echoes. Having accelerated constantly for 3 million years, Red Dwarf breaks the light barrier. Rimmer and Lister overtake themselves in time and witness images from the future. Then Rimmer sees Lister die. And here are some reviews.
Oh, right,
you want to hear some
excellent.
good reviews? Right.
We're talking in February 1988 now, yeah.
We're talking about the 22nd of February, yes. Daily Mirror. Can't say I'd heard the word smeghead before this series began, but as applied to Arnold Rimmer, it seems perfect to describe a prize space head case like him.
That's a good one.
That is a good one. How about this one? This is a good one. The trouble with BBC Two's Red Dwarf is Brown Dwarf Craig Charles.
Oh, that's outrageous. Outrageous.
Whose chirpy
God.
Liverpudlian space wanderer lacks charm, charisma, and even, it seems, a change of clothes. Craig's space chariot is drifting towards infinity. I only hope it falls into a black hole on the way. Brown Dwarf. Ooh.
Who's that?
That's somebody called Hilary Kingsley. That's Hilary.
It was actually the Daily Mirror,
Kingsley.
but I put the Daily Racist.
Yes, Daily Racist
Daily
just above
Mirror.
here. Now, this might be an opportunity for me to mention a review on the show that was in Stage and Television Today, 18th February 1988. Blah, 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 blah. Far from an easy piece to direct, Ed Bye did an excellent job, and Paul Jackson was executed in this series. So, I don't think there's anything more interesting you can really say about that particular episode.
I didn't know your mum worked for the station.
Keep my mum out of this. Yes, so Future Echoes. It was quite tricky to shoot and difficult to write, presumably.
Yeah, I remember rehearsals. I mean, we when we were writing it, we were drawing diagrams and saying, no, this isn't... And at rehearsals, you spending a lot of time lying on your back, trying to wrap your head around what was supposed to have just happened.
Oh.
And we were all just,
That double scene, the echo scene.
The double scene. The difficulty with the double scene is you
that
can't
was
really
just-
rehearse it because you get somebody else to play the person who's coming in the other side to meet themselves.
Yeah.
And you go, right, now you're you and that person is you too. Now you can be you again. And then you go and have lunch. And that's what happened, I think.
Yeah, but what I enjoyed most about it was that it was a science fiction, and it was it was a time conundrum show, which I love those shows. I love split screen shows and time conundrum shows. I can't have enough of those. But it hadn't really been done on television, and Star Trek started doing it very strangely soon after.
Really?
Yeah.
That's very, very peculiar, isn't it?
It's very odd, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's one of those synchronicity things.
It's almost as peculiar as Voyager having hard light holograms and
Being marooned millions of light years from...
it's a weird one too.
Yes. Yeah. It's almost so strange, the X-Files being called the X-Files. So, right, no, there's nothing.
That's not the same at all, actually. No.
No.
Sorry about that.
But there is no connection.
No.
No.
Although we did, what was that series we were at? The Y-Files, remember that?
My God, sir.
You think that
The
could be?
Y-Files?
About those two...
Fully in Skiles? What was
Yes, that's right.
Oh, Fully in Squalder.
Squalder, that's right.
Squalder, that's right.
Yeah, Scully and Squalder come in with some torches. I remember it. I remember
And
the
you
outline.
never turn the lights on.
That's right.